Let me also bring on board Mr. Vallabh Bhanshali, Chairman, Enap Securities. Mr. Bhanshali, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Bhanshali, what is your first reaction to the budget? Do you think Finance Minister deserves a pat because the current global and local circumstances are tough?
I definitely think so. I'm very happy that after a long time I feel I'm a part of a country and not a constituency. And some of the election considerations have been, held back. We are seeing holding back on welfare, and I think emphasis is on credibility. We know in the economic and the financial world that if you say 5% and deliver 5%, it's a lot more valuable than saying I'll deliver 4.8% and then actually deliver 5%. So I think he has left all the upside, for him to take as and when policy reforms happen, which can be on the land side, which can be on the mining and mineral, which can be GST and so on. So there are various counts on which I would like to congratulate him.
Mr. Bhanshali, just want to get you in. The finance minister this time around has been pretty silent on 2G spectrum sales, because that is one thing that most industry watchers as well were talking about. Could we expect a 3G-like haul, say in FY13?
I think, as I said, that there are many upsides. One of them is this. I haven't read the detail as to, what credit has been taken, but he mentioned the summary number, which wasn't spectacular. I think also, another item of similar nature is the creation of a holding company for all the financial institutions. Now, if you look at the potential of a holding company, they can dilute a part of that and yet continue to hold 51% in the banks and institutions. And I think the finance minister made it a point to mention that fact that they will always own 51%. But if you create a holding company, you would want to make dilutions in that company. So I think those are, a few areas that I can think of where upsides are pending.
Reaction to that exclusive interview where the Prime Minister has clearly emphasized on the need to address the subsidy problems?
I think he made wonderful points. He said that, look, we needed to bring stability, hope and growth back before we go into the path of consolidation. The Finance Minister himself said that words are not enough and we need action. I think the determination to take actions where needed, whether it was, putting up the service tax, putting up the excise duty, etc., has been shown. Some of the expectations were unrealistic. So on the whole, even the Prime Minister's speech was confident. I think his assessment of what has gone wrong, what has gone right over the last 3 years was bang on. I think this is a very, very wonderful environment of realism post-UP elections. In that environment, if they are able to achieve some good results in the first 6 months, they will have a window of next 6 months to do some of these things, like putting up the petroleum and diesel prices, cutting fertilizer subsidy and so on. Because they already started on this path and they have the formula, they have the recommendations. If they can get the GST rolling, I think big bang reforms can happen in the second half.
Which, to your mind, are the key set of gainers and losers?
I think the market as a whole really should feel happy with this budget. There may have been some specific areas which have not been covered. But if you are able to give a boost to infrastructure and you're able to create a healthy fiscal environment, I think generally the whole market will get a boost. But, ITC is up, so I think they got away cheap. The market thinks... I think automobiles got away probably cheap. I do see that we should have a cyclical rebound from last year's extraordinarily low activity. And therefore, I am quite agnostic. I think generally market should rise slowly. One has to really take a call 6 months out from here as to whether some of the projections in terms of policy intent have worked out or not. But I'm not picking sectors at this point of time.
6 months out, Mr. Bhanshali, will markets be trading higher or lower? I know you hate to answer this one, but I'm tempted to ask you this question.
Well, if I'm throwing darts at this point of time, I would think higher.